and welcome. I am Adam, KN6QGV, with another episode here of Ask Me Anything. First off, I'd like to say welcome to everyone, and welcome to Primetime. It's our first night here on Primetime, so I hope we got a bunch of people here. So first off, I'd like to say welcome to everyone. We're actually going to start with a promo here. I'm going to start by getting into one of our things. Josh's contest is back, and he's giving out one of our premier handhelds this month. We need you to help us build up our SMS following. SMS allows you to get updates on our live streams and sales that are going on. Plus, you can win the 878 UV2 Plus, capable of GPS, APRS send and receive, 500,000 contacts, and Bluetooth capabilities. So make sure you guys enter today by just opting in for SMSs. All right, so let's start by saying welcome to some people. Let's start putting some names up here. We got Mark, KG4GVJ, welcome. Let's see, we got Chris. Let's see, VE7UTV, welcome. We got Royce in the house, KI5RYF from Texas, welcome. Kathy, KB9NRX from Illinois, welcome. Let's see, we got Steve, good evening, K30OW from Southeastern North Carolina, welcome. All right. Well, as more and more people roll in, we're just going to start by recapping what we went over yesterday. So those of you who caught up with us and actually got in, thank you for checking in with us. You know, that is, we do like to hear from you guys and like to see you guys at these shows of ours. So, you know, it's a good thing. Let me, I'm going to bring up my screen here. And what we're going to do is we're actually going to recap some of the things. So first we started over here by enabling our, this is on the 578, by the way. We're going over everything on the 578. On the left here, you'll see that we have AM band checked. This was one of the main things that we went over. And what this does is this adds this AM feature over here. Now, these are the frequencies that we added to yesterday to our thing. Now, as you guys can see, scan add, this will actually add it if you have a scan list already operating. And I'll go over how to enable that here in a minute. So what you do is you put in your different frequencies for your local towers, which, let me open up a new window here. We could come over to the radio reference. We can actually look up our local frequencies. There we go. Select an area. So I'll just choose California here to show you guys. Let's come down to Los Angeles. Now there's a bunch in here. Let's see, we are looking for airports. Here we go. Here are frequencies for the local airports around. So you find the one that's closest to you, and you can add those frequencies right there into your programming. So right here. Now what you're going to want to do is we're going to come over to optional settings. We're going to come over to our key functions, and there's two key functions we need to have set. Scan and AM/FM. These two features are necessary because if you want to be able to scan through your AM list or your AM airband, you're going to need to have scan available. And then you also need a button to enable the actual scanning. I mean, not the scanning, the actual airband. So what you would do is on your radio, you could start a scan off of some local channels that you have and then switch over to the airband, and that will automatically start scanning those airband channels with the other channels you have in that scan list. So that's a nice feature there. We also went over FM, adding a couple local FM radio stations. Just like turning on AM, you can also push the AM, the AM FM button. It does FM, AMA, AMB, and then off. Just so everyone is aware. The last thing we went over yesterday and we did was cross-band repeat. So what we have here is we set up 2 simplex frequencies, one for UHF, one for VHF. These are the analog set. This is the digital set. And we actually set them so that what we did was we went to subchannel A, had the UHF or VHF, it doesn't matter. And then subchannel B had the opposite. Then what we did was, if we come back to our optional settings here, you'll see that we actually set up a key function, holding down the channel selector, long press, to enable the repeater. So when we hold that down, it enables the repeater on your 578. That is how you enable cross-band mode. Now, you don't have to program the frequencies in. If you're out and about, you can go to VFO mode and manually set A and B, and you can do it that way. There was a lot of questions yesterday about how you can do it with digital and what capabilities there are. We don't know all the full capabilities, but if you have questions, make sure you bring those forward. We'll be more than happy to answer all of those questions. So again, if anyone has any questions, you can send them in now. We'll review them later, again, after when we get to the questions and answers part. But please send in your questions. And that's that. Here's a couple quick notes. First off, when you go to set your frequencies, make sure you check with your local band plans, because we want to make sure that you are compliant with the FCC and your license to make sure that you are broadcasting within the proper frequency ranges. The other things is that if you are in repeater mode, it does require you to actually give your call sign at least every 10 minutes while it's operating. And lastly, while you're in repeater mode, you cannot leave it unattended. It must be attended by a person at all times. There must be an operator. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we are actually going to come here. So now 1.16 is out. We did pull it back for a minute because we did notice one error, but we will be re-releasing it again here soon. However, the update process is the same for everyone for what I'm about to do. And I'm about to go through the process on showing you guys how to pull it up on your computer and go through the process and program your radio. So what we are going to do is we are actually going to come over here to tools. And now if we click on firmware upgrade, you're going to notice nothing actually happened on my screen. This is one of the bugs that we noticed with the newest version. There have been reports of it happening in a couple earlier versions, but it is rare. If this does happen to you, don't be afraid. Everything is okay. What we're going to do is we're actually going to pull up our window. We're going to go to where we installed the program. So I installed mine here, as you can see. We're going to come to Update, and here is the Update tool. Now, if you notice, the difference this time is you actually select your active COM port, which is for your radio. You will then come to your update file. You'll open up the SPI file, open success, and you'll write to the radio. As this is not connected to my radio right now, I'm not actually writing to it. So I'm just showing you guys how it would be. So you just click write, and it will write to the radio. It's a pretty quick process, and once that's done, you can restart your radio and you'll be up in there. What I would recommend is after you're done doing the update, make sure you guys format the radio. I always suggest this afterwards, doing a factory reset. Doing a factory reset will make sure that it gets rid of any issues between the versions, as well as allowing for the configuration files to be formatted properly with all of the all of the actual settings in there. Some of them might get left out if you don't. So these are just some of the reasons why you would want to actually you know, format the radio afterwards. A lot of people don't like to. You can always read from the radio real quick, get all your stuff, download it, export it, format the radio, read from the radio again, so you get that new one, and then import everything back in. So you don't get a band error and you don't get any other issues with writing to your radio. So with that being said, in order to actually turn your 578 into firmware update mode, we're actually going to start with the radio on. We're going to hold down both menu and exit. You may get a message that says, what does it say? It says press select or something. Press selectors. Don't do that. Just wait for that message to go away and then hit the power button. And what that'll do is it'll actually switch into firmware update mode, and you'll notice the red light flashing on the side. So that is how you know you are in there. There are instructions inside your CPS that you received from us. So let me come back here, downloads. And the first read right here, we do have a bunch of things, including a video that will show you exactly what I just said. Which it won't let me. There we go. As you can see right here. As you saw the light flashing, that puts it into firmware update mode. So again, all this is here, the instructions on how to update it, where to find the update file, all that's here. They made it very easily accessible for all you guys. All righty, now with that being done, does anyone have any questions? Let's see. Just so I have this right, in programming my 578, I do so with having to connect to the computer until I'm ready. You can leave it connected. You don't have to. You could just, as long as you're not transmitting or doing anything, you can leave the radios always connected. I sometimes do. I have a cable right here that connects to mine, but it's not plugged into my computer right now because I needed the port for a different radio. For the crossband operations, can you do cross mode as one frequency analog and the other being digital? In the instructions we have, it says either digital to digital or analog to analog. There may be possibility where you can do an analog to digital combination. But I haven't tested any of this, and none of our other guys have. Like we tell a lot of you guys, and especially in our BridgeCom University, we test this. You know, we're learning a lot of this with you guys, and we're testing this out with you guys. So as of right now, I don't think it is possible, but who knows? Maybe in the future. Can you explain what weather alert is all about? Yeah, weather alert is an alert that sets up and you receive a tone from the National Weather Station. So when you're actually using that, it will actually mute your weather so you don't actually hear it coming through the thing. And then you'll hear that alert tone, and then you'll start to hear the actual audio come through as the alert tone comes. So that is how the weather alert works. How do you delete a DMR talk group ID? I've tried and no luck. Okay, so let me pull up our CPS here. Let me switch screens. All right. So if we come over here to digital, we can actually see contact talk group. This is where all of them would be if you wanted to just delete one. Here, let's just make one. Say we just wanted to delete that one. We could just come up. You can either right click and go delete, or you could just hit delete on the keyboard, and that's it. Make sure you write to the radio. If you're trying to do it directly from the radio, give me a second to turn on my radio. Let's see if I can do this. All right. talk group list. Okay, so let me actually switch back to my camera. So if we wanted to edit contact, no, you can't delete it from the radio. You'd actually have to delete it directly, as you guys saw from the, yep, you got to delete it directly from the CPS. That's the only way to remove it. All right. Can the 878 receive ATC? No. The airband traffic is only on the 578 plus, and the reason being is that it doesn't have the room in the nice compact design they have here for that chip. It's another chip that has to be added in, and because of that, they don't actually have the capabilities of receiving ATC on these. Maybe one day in the future they can expand it or shrink a chip and make some room, but as of yet, no, they don't. Now, before I guys continue, if you guys are liking what you guys are seeing, if you like the content we have, if you have any information about content you would like to see, make sure you guys like and subscribe down below, and you'll also put it in the comments what you guys would like to see in the future, so we know what to prepare for you guys and what to set up, so we can actually give you guys what you want. That really does help us. And if you have questions throughout the week that you have with all this, and you haven't been able, to call us, or you have some time and you didn't have some time to get a hold of us or anything, and you're here, send those questions in. We'll be more than happy to get you. It's great to hear from all of you guys. So again, like and subscribe, and make sure you let us know what kind of content you want to see, so we can continue providing this for you. All right. I have an 878 plug-and-play package. My SkyBridge was set up with DMR master set to 3102, and I want to change it to 3021. Do I have to change anything in the 878? No. Actually, once you change the master server in your thing, just make sure it's connected to Brandmeister's network, and you're good to go. Master server is just the way that it connects in. Whichever is closest to you, that's the one you would want to choose. All righty. Any more questions? All right. Well, right now, what we're going to do is we are going to go over our 578. Ladies and gentlemen, if you, where is that? Here we go. 578, guys, is a perfect radio to on the go. It's great for, setting up in your house, going in your car, setting up as an emergency radio. It has APRS transmit and receive. It receives the airband, has 500,000 contacts. And as you guys see here, you could do crossband repeat and a bunch of other things. So make sure you guys sign up, call and get your things out now. And also make sure you call us while you're calling us for those radios, sign up and get your name on the waiting list for our 578 Bluetooth mic that's going to be coming out here, hopefully in October. Don't quote me on that, but we are hoping that it will be here by the end of the year. So make sure that you guys can do that. And if you guys have any questions and you want to speak to a representative, 816-532-8451. Our representatives will be happy to help you with any of your sales needs or any of your tech support and customer service needs. All righty. How do you configure the 878 UV2 Plus to beacon analog APRS? Will it run the beacon periodically while you use the radio? That's actually an amazing question. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring up my computer. So first off, we need to make sure that you have the base settings. As you can see, I have nothing set up here on this. So what we're going to do is, here's your manual intervals. This is all different. You could set this. So this will be when you push to talk manually. This will be your interval for that. I usually do something like 5 because I want to make sure every time I push to talk, it's going to do it. So it doesn't have that timeout period. This is what you're talking about, though, the auto APRS beacon. You could set this to 60 seconds, 90 seconds, whatever you'd like. I always set this to 15. I'm just going to go through and do my settings that I normally do. Now, if you guys would like a description of everything I'm doing right here, you guys can actually go back and watch one of our previous episodes of our BridgeCom University Live, where we actually went through and described all of these things. So make sure you guys check out our YouTube page, like that video, subscribe. You know, you're going to find a lot of good content here with all this stuff. All right, we're going to go wide, turbo, 600, 100. All right, so here's just some of the basic settings. You got your intervals up here. Roaming we usually keep off. Fixed beacon, if this is on, it'll use this information you have here. Feet or meters, whichever you like. So here's my call sign. APAT81 is the type of call. Here's the to call as this ID. This will actually distinguish what type of ID we have when we're over there, as well as this. So that helps. Actually, this will actually be how we communicate with them, while this is how they see us or view us on aprs.fi. You want to make sure it's wide 1-1, comma wide 2-1. You're on wideband, turbo power, 600 delay. 144.39000 is the transmission frequency, and the receive frequency for analog APRS. Now, if you do have the 878 UV2 Plus, you will notice this, the pass all. This will actually allow you to receive broken packets. So you can actually receive broken packets and help people out with understanding APRS. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to come over to this analog channel and make sure you actually have, before we do that, APRS and APRS receive, both checked here in your options. That will allow these features to be seen. So what we're going to do is we're going to come here and go analog. And if we just do this, simply reporting channel 1, now it will beacon every 60 seconds automatically. If we add this push to talk mode, either start a transmission or end a transmission, then that will happen when we actually push the push to talk. So that's the difference between manual and automatic. Even if you have it set to manual, it will still automatically do that. Now, if you're on a channel that does not have any APRS reporting, the APRS will stop reporting. So make sure that you have this set, at least analog right here, on the channels that you want APRS to work with. So that was a really good question. Thank you, Wide. I received the super code plug from my 878, but have not installed it. What happened to the 300,000 contacts that did not load due to? It just stops off. What happens is when you have the maximum, you'll get that error 15 or whatever it is, and then it just drops off the rest of those contacts. If you have a set group that you would like, I believe Radio ID does have a service for, I believe it's $5 or something, that they can actually create you a dumbed down list or a smaller list that you can select, hey, I want North America, I want Canada, I want Australia, or whatever countries you want in there, and they will make that list for you, or you can select it and then export that and import that directly to your radio. So that might help you with collecting some of the numbers, because I know there is a lot of people here in the United States, let alone. Which band plan allows airband on 578? It's not a band plan. It's actually an option right here. If we go to options and we do AM, if you have the UV3 plus, the 578 UV3 plus, you will have airband capabilities. If you have the Pro, it does not have those capabilities. So make sure you have the 878 UV3 plus, and that will allow you for the airband. All righty. These are great questions. Does anyone else have any more? All right. Well, what we're going to do is, while the questions are coming in, make sure you redeem your Ham Shack this July with BridgeCom's premium radios. The winner of our Ham Shack redemption giveaway will take home a Ham Shack Pack 2, one of our best DMR bundles. The Ham Shack Pack 2 includes our 878 UV2 Plus, a 578 UV3 Plus, the one we're talking about here today, a Skybridge Plus, and tons of accessories to spice up your amateur radio experience. So guys, make sure you enter that giveaway to be eligible for that prize. Sign up today. It's on our website. And good luck. All righty. Do you have to be near a Digi repeater for the repeater to transmit APR text APRS? Yes, you do actually. And the other way is actually if you have a hotspot and you're using digital, you can get through that digitally through the repeaters and the hotspots. They will actually transmit that information over the data on the digital side of DMR. So if you're looking for analog and all of that and everything, yes, the Digi repeaters are all around you. They're in everything. Which 578 is part 90 commercial? Commercial is part 90 band, so that's what you'd have to want there. 97 would be amateur. All righty. Well, if there's no more questions for tonight, I want to thank everyone for coming. I would like to say, please subscribe to one of our BridgeCom Plus so you can actually enter our community, exclusive giveaways, and get some discounts. We have 3 tiers available. We have our monthly membership, our annual membership, and our lifetime membership. Our monthly goes for $14.99. Our annual is $150, and our lifetime is $750. So make sure you guys subscribe and get to be one of our BridgeCom Plus members. It's a great community. There's hundreds of members, thousands of members in there, and it's fun. We all talk, we have a lot of fun, and you all get to be part of that giveaway to win one of these amazing 878s. So make sure you guys like and subscribe and check in. This is new to us tonight, so I know this is a little bit different. So, it is nice to see you guys all here with us on prime time. How can we interface a 578 to a LAN or WAN or internet Eradine via direct RJ45 or interface device? I am not 100% entirely sure. So I'm actually going to do some more research on that one. But if you would like, you can actually call us on our tech line, and one of our techs will get you in touch with me, and we can actually talk about that. The number for our tech, if you guys need tech support, is 636-264-8325. All right. And what temperature is normal for Skybridge hotspot to operate at? It all depends on realistically your amount of operations on it. The more operations on it, the hotter it's going to be. I'm going to pull up mine right here. Give me a second. Bam. And you're going to see right here that mine is actually, if I have it on. Yeah, there we go. Mine's running pretty hot. It's not too hot. They can run a lot hotter, but, you know, it's not too bad. A lot of them are in the 20s, 120s, 130s. Some are in the 140s. It all depends, again, on how much your network operates. And as you can see, I got 1, 2, 3, 4 networks running on mine. Is there a device ID difference between the 878 UV2 and the UV2 Plus? My CPS shows the device ID is... No, the device ID is for the... It's just the UV or the UV2. That's just distinguishing between version 1 and 2. The Plus is just saying it has Bluetooth capabilities. So Bluetooth and GPS, actually. Sorry, I want to correct myself on that. So that's exactly what that is. There is... If your CPS is saying that, it's just recognizing it as a version 2. Are there any plans to sell a quad band? I don't know right now. We can talk to the manufacturers and see what their plans are. But as of right now, they have been stuck on this tri-band and they like it a lot. So we can ask. Maybe in the future we could see something. It doesn't hurt to ask. Great question, though. I personally would like to see it. All right. Well, personally, I'd like to thank everyone for coming out. This is our first time on prime time. Hopefully next week we can have a lot more people. I know a lot of people are probably expecting it this morning. I'd usually have a good turnout, but I do appreciate for everyone who was here this evening. And on behalf of myself and Jeremy, my buddy here, who's been helping me a little bit, thank you guys so much for everything. Make sure you guys like and subscribe, and I look forward to seeing you guys next week. 73.